At one point in time, I was a drug dealer, but I didn't deal drugs.
It's not how
Yeah,
that
I
works.
just, want to make sure that was out there. I didn't deal drugs.
Calling it 911 right now.
Alright. Some things you probably need to know before I jump into the story. I'm not the best. I'm not a very good kid by any stretch of the imagination. I do a lot of bad things, and some of them I can justify, some of them I really can't. It's nothing like terrible. It's mostly thievery, actually. Yeah, I had a really big thieving problem. I used to be black. Believe it or not. I
used to be. What a curious concept. I knew I was black, but I didn't think so much. Gee, golly gosh, it's like I'm looking at a mirror.
I've been a fat, white, middle-aged, balding dude this entire time.
Absolutely.
Anyway, there's a lot of consequences to me stealing, as well as some consequences that came because of what happened because of those consequences. I don't know how to explain it.
Consequences.
You should know that if I can't have any sugar, like, well, okay, if it's like already in the food, sure, whatever. But like no candy, no desserts, no nothing like that. I have to be locked in my room, not because I'm stealing, but for different reasons that I don't want to talk about right now. I can't have money for some reason. I still don't know the reason for that. Like, if my dad ever saw me with money, he'd take it immediately.
Are you sure he's not just an asshole?
I mean... And also, I'm not allowed to go, like, out and play with friends or anything. That in mind, I recently came back... Oh, also, something important. My parents are divorced. Still divorced, actually. But...
So that's right.
So yeah, I was living with my dad at the time. I had just come back from visiting my mom. And I had about $20-something hidden in the bottom of my shoe when I came back. I held on to that for about 6 months. And then high school started. My first year of high school, actually. I was living in Texas at the time, where education standards are high.
Right.
But the people are actually pretty chill. It's like a few months into it now, and I realize that there's actually a lot of time in between when we get dropped off from like the bus and then when classes actually start. Our high school is at the, like, on this corner where there's like a bridge to our left, and then there's some corner stores around us, and then some more stuff further to the right that I don't feel like walking to. More importantly, there's those corner stores. I believe like CVS or something. I don't know.
Right.
One day, I decide, you know what? I'm going to take this $20-something that I've been holding on to for like a few months and go to that corner store in the morning and buy some fucking candy. Because I haven't had any in, 6 months. Since I came back from visiting with my mom, who let me have all this stuff. Mm-hmm. I've ever grabbed some more stuff too, but I remember specifically I grabbed a big bag of Jolly Ranchers. Favorite candy. I have a friend also named Alec, ironically. In fact, I remember his last name too, but I'm not going to say it on this show. He was a smaller blonde kid. Anyway, I'm sitting with my friend Alec at lunch. I pull out this bag of Jolly Ranchers. I'm sharing them, of course, because he's my friend, and we're friends.
Right.
People are approaching us like, hey, can we have some? And like, nah, not really. Probably gotta eat all of this. And then for some reason, I'm like, hey, Alec, can I borrow $5? I know what you're thinking. Jonas, or Man Manson, depending on if you caught my name in an earlier podcast, didn't you have $20? What happened to it? I actually did have about $7 left at the time. So I wasn't worried about, like, having $5. I just wanted more. I just wanted $5 more because I'm a greedy asshole. And I'm like, hey, I'll pay you back. Like, all right, fine. That's probably the best thing he ever did for me. To be completely honest, I used that $5 and go back to the corner store the next day, get like some Arizona and another bag of Jolly Ranchers.
Right.
I forget what class it's in, but I'm eating Jolly Ranchers, and the kid's like, "Hey, give me some Jolly Ranchers." You know how it is in school, like fucking. If someone pulls out some gum, everyone, it's like sharks descending on like a bloody fish. Everyone wants it. And I get this harebrained ass idea of like, you know what? If you want a Jolly Rancher, you're gonna have to give me 25 cents. And you know what happened? He was like, here's $1. I was like, okay. And I gave him 4 Jolly Ranchers.
Right.
And I was like, anyone want a Jolly Rancher? 25 cents. It took a while for anyone to bite, but it was like, eventually I got someone with exactly 25 cents. And I gave him a Jolly Rancher. I was like, huh. I wonder how many more people are willing to pay 25 cents for a single Jolly Rancher. Periods go on. I eventually find enough people that I'm able to make $3 in total from selling single Jolly Ranchers for 25 cents. Highway robbery. Considering the bag of like 60 plus Jolly Ranchers is like 20 or maybe $3 at best. So I mean, I've already made back my money.
Truly the free spirited market right there.
The next day, well, no, not the next day. That lunch period, I crack open the Arizonas. I give one to Alec because he gave me $5. Why not? And I actually give him back the money immediately because I had $7 left over. I just made $3. I'm like, you know what? Here's the change, essentially.
Right.
I forget exactly what we talked about. I know we were pretty happy, but the next day I decided, you know what? This is serious now. I'm still eating Jolly Ranchers, so I'm not making as much money as I should have, but it eventually snowballs into where every day I'm finding at least one person to buy a Jolly Rancher from me. Some days it's like $1, some days it's a few dollars. The snowball, and I'm still eating the Jolly Ranchers too. I'm probably eating more than I'm actually selling.
Right.
You know how they say, well, I don't know how familiar you are with drug dealing, but
Don't smoke from your own stash.
yeah. I'm still doing that and still making enough money to at least buy one bag. Insane. I remember one day I actually, like the day everything changed, I limited myself. All right, I'm setting aside this to eat and this to sell. And from there everything exploded.
Oh no.
I made enough money to buy 2 bags of Jolly Ranchers. Then I was in business. 2 bags turned into 3 bags. Eventually I was able to hand Alec a bag and be like, you know what, do whatever you want with this. Eat it, sell it, whatever. I'm living life right now, man. All the while, I'm still hiding this from like my dad, who thinks I'm just like going, well, he doesn't trust me anyway, so he's probably like suspecting I'm doing anything at any given time. But for all he knows, I'm going to school. I'm doing whatever. I'm not eating candy. I'm not doing things I'm not supposed to be doing. And technically, I don't think he suspected I was doing anything illegal. Because I should have said that at the beginning. Don't do this. This is definitely illegal. Everything eventually culminates into one day. My dad goes to the school. He goes to my locker. He asks like the staff to open the locker, and he doesn't find Jolly Ranchers, but he finds like some other candy I bought because I had so much money that I was able to buy things. He's like, "What is this? Where did you get this?"
Right.
I also had a habit of lying. And I lied my way out of it, or tried. It didn't work, but eventually, he was eventually able to deduce one day that I had made money, or gotten money somewhere, and bought it. I forget exactly what happened as a result of that, but then somewhere around Halloween, I go to the store. I have like 20 something dollars in my pocket. I'm like, I'm gonna buy all the bags I can of candy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm grabbing candy. I'm grabbing new candy because it's Halloween to attempt to sell. I get all my stuff. I go to the counter. I reach into my pocket to grab the money to pay for the stuff, and then all I find is $5. Where did the money go? No. For about 20 minutes? We were doing a late start that day, so I wasn't too worried about time. I'm like frantically looking around. I'm actually asking people, "Hey, do you mind like giving me some money so I can buy this candy?" I think I got like $1 or something out of like this old lady. Really sweet. I gotta pay her back someday. Eventually, the cashier herself is like, "You know what? I got you. I will buy this for you." And she does. And I think, all right, I'm home free. And then eventually, a few days pass. My dad calls me from my room. He's obviously he's upset. He's like, "Stand there for a second. I got this call that you stole some lady's credit card and used it to buy candy. First off, you shouldn't be having candy." Second,
that's the big issue.
Second, you stole some lady's credit card? This is the fall for anyone paying attention. Obviously, he's not believing the truth. Understandable. But I try to explain to him, "Hey, I went in, I had money, and then I lost money. And then she eventually decided to pay for it." He's not believing that. I eventually like circulate through lies until I eventually say, "Well, okay, Alex's mother gave me the credit card to go buy this." Yeah, I'm a terrible friend. I drag my own friend
into the mother at that.
Yeah, someone I never met into this conversation. Oh really? Well, let me call her. Let me verify that. Fuck.
Mission failed.
Yeah, it's. Oh man. He eventually finds like the rest of the candy I had planned to sell in my locker. I don't know. I think at that point, I had the money like stashed somewhere else, and the next day I was able to go and like just give it to Alec, because I knew he's gonna take it if he finds it.
Right.
I was like 12 at the time, I think. So I'm probably too old for it still, but I did get like spankings.
Right.
With the belt. Something really fascinating to come out of this. I didn't go to jail, obviously. To my knowledge, neither did my dad. A week or so later, Dad gives me the news that I'm going to be sent to my mom's and I'm going to go to boot camp. I'm not a fan of this at all, but I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. So eventually the day comes, I go to my mom's. I mean, I knew it'd be, I had a feeling I wouldn't immediately go to boot camp, so I'm kind of relaxed because at my mom's I have so much more freedom. I don't need to go make my own money. I can actually have candy. A few months go by, no boot camp. Months turn into a year, then 2 years, and then it's finally broken to me that the reason he did that is because I don't know why. I didn't get hit. I wasn't going to get hit with any charges. He was. For some reason, they were going to go after him and give him charges. In order to save himself, he had to send me away. Yeah. I mean, I don't know the specifics on that, or if that's even plausible, but it's very weird that that happens to be just like Alec giving me $5 was the best thing he ever did to me, for me. Him sending me away because he's being threatened with jail is probably the best thing he's ever done for me. Because he didn't believe me that I didn't steal a credit card, I'm now here.
And with you.
Yeah, actually.
On your second Alec.
I mean, there's a few things I did before I got to here, but it's because I did something illegal. There's no beating around the bush. What I did was illegal. That I'm now living in a place, maybe not this place, but with a person I'd actually wanted to live with for my entire life.
Right.
And I couldn't be happier.
This is good.
So, Alec, any thoughts? Any closing statements?
I send my thoughts.
Send your thoughts.
I've already stated them.
Took 4 minutes longer than I thought it would, but I have been your real life rogue. I am Van Manson. That has been.
Why am I being pointed at?
Because you're supposed to say who you are.
I don't know.
And we'll see you guys next time. So, ironically enough, I played a little bit of basketball when I was in middle school. A little bit in high school, too.
I was about to say, you're not exactly like a giantess.
Yeah, even today, and especially back then, I was terrible at shooting. I was terrible at, catching. You know what I was really good at, though? Stealing.
I was like, I want my...
These are not jokes, by the way. All this is true. That's the only thing I was good at.
It's a good skill I have, make no mistake.